Good afternoon, and just want to kind of bring the media up to date on our meeting, the outcome of the meeting, some of the discussions that went on, and then open it up for Q&A. We in the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, southeastern Michigan in particular, are very, very fortunate to have the kind of support that we have from the Obama administration, more specifically the Secretary of Transportation, who has been here in Detroit more often than I've been to Washington because of his support and belief in how important regional transportation is. I believe, as well as he and the governor, that regional transportation is the burning issue that we need to get behind us so we can do the things that are necessary for the people here in the city of Detroit and southeastern Michigan for jobs. We're talking job creation. We're talking putting a system in place that will allow people in this 110-mile radius to get to and from jobs in this specific area. So the governor came up with an idea several months ago of how important regional transportation was. He called myself and our county execs together, representing the 4 counties in southeastern Michigan, to support a regional transportation authority. And most people look at our regional transportation in the context of what has been talked about over the last year, 2 years, and that has been the M1. And I don't want to get people mixed up about the M1 and regional transportation. We want, ultimately, one system in this area, a regional transportation system that will allow, once again, people to have the benefit of getting to and from their jobs. And so with that, before I bring up the Secretary, I'd like the Governor to come to the mic and have some expressions also. Governor. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. It's great to be here, and I want to thank the Secretary bringing his team in. Again, he's been a very frequent visitor, and I especially compliment him for coming today, since there is no ball game in town today. It shows his true commitment to Michigan, because tomorrow's the big game. As a practical mayor, though, they've shown great commitment, because this is all about partnership in regional transportation from all levels of government. And today was really to focus on having a good, healthy discussion, talk about the RTA, getting issues on the table, have a dialogue. Our congressional leaders were there in many respects. We had a number of state legislators because we need to take action in the state legislature to move this forward. And to really reinforce why this is so important, we talk about a regional authority, we talk about needing this for 40 or 50 years. All those things are true, but I just want to mention 2 things in terms of making it a personal level. One of the state legislators talked about how she sees on a regular basis an individual going to work that has to take 4 buses. And she talks about seeing him at 6 in the morning, she talks about seeing him 8 at night on some days, taking 4 buses to go to work. Because public transportation is a lifeline to a job, to health, to so many important things. We're doing a community program now for the structurally unemployed in Flint, Pontiac, Saginaw, and Detroit. And we've started that process at the state level. That's something we included in last year's budget. We're rolling out the program through the MEDC, and it's been really interesting and informative to say what are some of the barriers to helping these people find a job. And through our work, the number 1 barrier that's coming up more frequently than any other issue is access to good transportation, to help people get to that job, that opportunity. So again, that just reinforces the need to say this is not about, again, a separate group of jurisdictions that create artificial walls at city limits or other borders, county borders. This is us finally recognizing that our citizens, our customers, deserve a system that within this entire region, they can move as easily, as quickly as possible in a comprehensive fashion. And that's why it's important that we don't look upon this as islands of the city, of the state, of the federal government, but we all come together to recognize this is what our customers want, this is what our citizens want, this is what we should deliver to them, and that's why this was a great discussion. And again, I appreciate the Secretary, his team coming to the table. The Mayor has been a strong supporter on board from this from the beginning. So let's just continue to work on this. Let's get the state legislators working hard. Let's get this legislation done, and let's get a system in place. So thank you.
Well, this is my 10th visit to Detroit in 4 years. I am an official citizen, according to the mayor, as of today. Only takes 10 trips to become an official citizen. Let me just give you a little context here. Detroit has, and the regional, Wayne County, all of the other counties, regional Detroit has a 20th century regional transportation system. It's a system that's served by two separate entities. It's a system that really doesn't adequately serve the people. And the reason that I have been here on 10 different occasions is because of the extraordinary leadership of these two men coming together around the idea, how do we really provide adequate transportation to people who want to go to work, go to a doctor's appointment, go to school, and do it in a way that brings Detroit into the 21st century. So we laid out about 4 or 5 things that need to be done. And because of their leadership, the governor and the mayor, many of those items have been fulfilled and completed. The one thing that hasn't happened is legislation to create a regional transportation authority. That's the missing piece. Now, over the period of the last several weeks, I have met with legislative leaders. I've met with the Speaker of the House, I've met with the Senate leadership, and they have told me that they support the idea of a regional transportation system and that legislation. So today, we met with those representatives of the city of Detroit to lay out for them what we're willing to do from the Department of Transportation and what needs to be done in order to have a regional transportation system. And we had a good meeting. And we will continue to meet until we accomplish our goal of establishing a regional transportation system. And Detroit is the only major metropolitan area in the country that doesn't have a regional transportation system. You can go all over the country, and I've been all over the country. Every other place, people have come together, worked together, set aside their own agendas and their own egos for the good of the people. This is about the people. This is about the people. This is how do you give people a 21st century regional transportation system? Part of it is you have to pass the legislation, and that's what I encourage these legislators to do today. But we've had a great collaboration, and this has been a great team. It's been a great team effort. We need to get it over the goal line now.
Any questions?
What is the next step then if the legislators need to meet? What happens next? I know you said you were meeting with some.
I'll let the governor talk about that.
Sure, I appreciate that because, again, we've had a lot of meetings, and so we're going to continue that in terms of getting back to the leadership of both the House and the Senate, have them get the opportunity to caucus both with the respective parties. But I don't view this as a partisan issue. This is really an issue about, let's show that Metro Detroit, the whole region, can come together with strong support that will then make it easy for the rest of the Michigan legislators to get on board to say, let's move forward. So hopefully we're going to have good meetings coming right out of this week on that topic. And I would hope as soon as the election gets over, as they come back into session really, because there's very limited time now, but when they come back after the election, hopefully this can be one of the items in lame duck in particular that will get done.
Is there a timeline that you set up for passage of this in the legislature?
Well, again, I'd like to see it get done in the lame duck session in terms of after the election. This is something that hopefully there's been enough homework and groundwork set. Again, the Secretary and the Mayor have done a great job of communicating within the city. The Secretary has been active talking to leadership in Lansing. So this is something that after the election, because again, right now everyone's focused on elections, ballot proposals. Let's keep this on the plate. Let's get it teed up to go right after the election in terms of something that can be worked on in one of the chambers and get to the other chamber as quickly as possible.
Governor, what can you do to bring some of the suburban and outstate lawmakers who are kind of leery of this proposal in, and as well as some of the Detroit delegation? What can you do at this point to get them to agree on something?
Same thing that we're doing here. In fact, that I'm happy to be doing that, sitting down with some of the suburban legislators to say same kind of dialogue and discussion, and that's where it's great. I can talk about the common support at the city level, at the federal level, how we've all come together, and let's get on board and answer their questions and show that this is an opportunity to make a big difference. Because again, if you look at it, we've been behind. This is something that I don't think anyone's proud of. This has been a point of 40 years of non-action. That let's do it. And that's the approach I like. It's continuing the reinvention of Michigan.
For the Secretary, you said you laid out what you're willing to do and what needs to be done. What are you willing to do on a federal level for this? And on the second question, where's funding stand at the federal level for the M1 project?
Well, we laid out a series of things with our friends that have put together the M1 project, and we're working through those with the mayor and the governor's team and our team. So we're working through those items. One of those items is a regional transportation authority, but there are other items there, and we're working through those. We're prepared to put on the table millions of dollars if this community can get its act together. Well, we're willing to put millions of dollars on the table if the communities can get its act together. I'll leave it at that.
Secretary LaHood, what is it that you want to see specifically then to see that this is gelling, coming together to put those millions of dollars on the table? What do you have to see?
Well, we've seen a lot of progress from what the governor and the mayor's team and our team have been working on for the last several weeks, and we're getting very close to meeting every one of the items that we've laid out and that they've agreed to. But one of the last pieces of the puzzle is this Regional Transportation Authority legislation. No, I mean, look, we're finalizing some of the others, but look, we are very close. We are very close.
More questions? Can you clarify who was actually in the meeting today that you met with in your office?
Well, we had major representation at the state level, at the city level, at the federal level, and our Detroit delegation. We also had, 4 members of Congress here. So we had a good compilation of leadership to really try to bring this to resolve.
Final question.
What are you doing to kind of try to bring in delegation and soothe some of the concerns in Lansing that about kind of outstate folks sending money to Detroit and not seeing much benefit from all of this?
I think what's important from a Detroit perspective is that we need to look at, we need to stop the infighting. It's okay to have disagreement. But if we're going to move this project forward, we can't think that it's going to be perfect. There are going to be some issues that people do not agree with, but that should not stop us from, in my opinion, moving one of the most important pieces of legislation forward, because it's going to have a very positive impact on not only the people here in the city of Detroit, but in four other communities, meaning, the counties, including Washtenaw, Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne. So that's a major portion of the citizens in the state of Michigan. So it behooves us to get this done, because I'm not sure we're ever going to have the kind of alignment that we have right now from a leadership standpoint. The Obama administration, Lansing, and the city of Detroit.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.